It's Friday. Oh, April what? April 17, and it's been a brutal few weeks as yours truly was having to do some work, but because it's Friday and the work week is done, we're gonna close out the work week with a little Strebel Creek Vineyard. Strebel Creek. Not sure if you could see it. Oh, can't see it too well. Strebel Creek Vineyard wine. And this is a Firehouse Red 2017 that we picked up last year while we were out and about in the Oklahoma area. So let's go ahead and pop open a bottle. I think I got my handy cork right here. Yep, there it is. And let's contemplate the weekend. What are our plans or your plans possibly for this weekend? We've heard some folks talking about maybe going to the Blue River. It's been 6 weeks since they last stocked the trout, and guess what? They are still out there. I've been seeing some pretty good posts on Facebook as well as the fishing channels. Here, let me knock this wine thing out first. Got to do the important things, and then we'll go back to talking about what we want to do this weekend. Excuse me. So with all this social distancing and not being able to get out and about like we normally do, and then the temperature change recently kind of got cold on us. So we'll have to kind of play it by ear here. But okay, for those that are listening on the podcast, that is the sound of a wine cork being undone here shortly. We've got the corkscrew in there. And oh yeah, almost got it. I love these two-stage wine corks. Almost there. All right, got it. All right, so let's just set that one off to the side real quick while we get a glass ready. Add it to our glass of wine corks right here. All right, and on the podcast, it's just a glass full of wine corks from a few drinks ago or bottles ago. Of course, we do have one that we're still working on. Yep. I got one of these wine tumblers from Grape Creek Vineyards a couple years ago. We went down to Fredericksburg in the hill country in Texas and had a good time having a few glasses of wine here and there. All right, so here's a classic one to hear for you podcasters. Yes, the sound of freedom. Freedom to enjoy a glass of wine while we're stuck at home. Okay, so let's talk about this upcoming weekend. After a quick taste. Okay, this weekend, a couple of things that we're kind of thinking of. Well, we've got that Tenkara rod. We've been doing really well with fishing the various places with that rod. Kind of want to see if we can get something bigger with it. It says you can catch, excuse me, you can catch 8-pound fish on it, or at least some people have. So wouldn't mind catching a pound or two of something. Anyways, so this weekend we're going to look for some opportunity, be it a local creek, a pond, to maybe catch a bass or two, or maybe get into some bluegill. Temperature kind of changed on us. It kind of dropped, and I think it's going to climb tomorrow, and then I think we may get some more rain again and maybe some cool temps again. So we're going to have to watch the weather, but that is the plan right now. We're going to play with the Tenkara rod, maybe pull out another fly rod, or maybe the Senkos, just because you can always do well, be it cold, wet, or warm temps with a Senko. Also, some of the things that we were contemplating is we posted a podcast of a virtual Q&A with 3 bass masters where we just took some clips off of YouTube, asked a question, and they answered it from their responses from a previous tape. And some good information there for those thinking about fishing bass on beds and bass and spawning bass and whatnot. It's a good idea to maybe take a look at that, especially with what Roland Martin was saying. He's a line watcher. So what does that mean? When he casts a line, he's watching for action or movement on the line showing that the fish has picked it up. So we like that. And in fact, yours truly is a line watcher, especially with Senkos. In fact, I think one year went and bought some of that high vis line. I think it's like 17-pound test strand. It was one of these light sensitive, sun sensitive ones that when the sun hit it, you definitely got a nice orange glow to it. So that always helped when it came to seeing or watching the line and seeing the take on it. So I think we're going to have that in our back pocket and think about doing some Senko fishing, maybe with the M-rod, Senko rod that we put together, or maybe just a standard bait casting rod. Additionally, with that Tenkara rod, probably going to have that with us throughout the week next week when we go back to our daily commute and back to the day job and back to the sidelines to go back to work and whatnot. But there's always that chance with, maybe there's a pond or two that we can stop at and pull out that Tenkara rod and catch a fish or two as well. Maybe get on video, maybe not sure. We'll always have our camera with us. So if we get anything and we get some video, we'll definitely post it and get some information out there to our audience. All right, so before we move on, let's just have another sip of that Strebel Creek Vineyard from Oklahoma, Firehouse Red 2017 wine. So speaking of wine, last year had the opportunity to hit several wineries up in the Oklahoma City area, as well as the Broken Bow area, and kind of did the double duty there where we went to Oklahoma, the Oklahoma City area, to possibly do some fishing up in that area, since the Turner Falls, Medicine Creek, and the Blue River nearby, at least an hour and a half away or less. Additionally, went to Broken Bow, had the opportunity there to try out their wineries as well as do some fishing, but it was warm, unfortunately, but we still had a good time. Got a cabin, got a chance to soak in the hot tub, do some chilling and grilling outdoors, and at the same time, even wet a line and catch at least I think it was a sunfish or a bluegill. But it's still a good opportunity to get up there. And then, of course, we hit 3 wines. I think it was Put a Cork in It Winery. Oh, no. Man. There were 3 wineries. I know there was Girls Gone Wine. There was another one, Boga, and then one more that eludes me right now. Maybe it's the wine talking already or the impact of it. But that said, hey, let's keep talking. The podcast. We started that podcast, IFishNews. We're supporting that effort as the City of Allen Fishing COAF field team, where we post our videos on YouTube. And at the same time, we're doing this podcasting piece a little bit more on the go, being able to get out there and give some more insight or live updates as to where we are. I think we did a podcast way back when we were on site at, I think it was the Fly Fest, TRWD Fly Fest one year, where we did a podcast on the Spreaker host. So we're currently on Podbean, IFishNews, and we're kind of working our game and kind of upping it a little bit. But right now we're pretty much amateurs at this point. All we're really trying to do is get into the schedule of getting the word out and letting folks know that we're willing to put in the time to get the word out via audio through the podcast, as well as through the videos that we've been posting. We've got about 1,500 videos or so on YouTube. Not anything fancy like you see some of those really, really, really nice YouTube channels. Great production work, great video work, great B-roll footage and all that. Well, I lost my film crew several years ago. In fact, it was the film crew of one, and she moved on, and so I've been having to do everything video-wise by myself. Of course, I think that's a good thing, because a lot of times my film crew would get distracted. So anyways, I'm getting distracted. Let's go back to fishing. Let's get that cough out of here. No fever, no sniffling. I'm good to go. But I definitely have a mask now. My significant other hooked me up with a couple of masks. I mean, I think they're almost good for using them for sunscreen also. So double duty. Keep yourself from getting corona at the same time. Keep yourself from getting sunburn. They're pretty nice. Go around the back here with some elastic to the back of your neck over the ear, and then it covers your mouth well. And then she used kind of some heavy quilting fabric. So actually looks pretty cool. So if you do see me out there with that mask on, well, it's a homemade one. All righty. Let's see. Other things. We've got a couple of things that we did with the fly fishing, fly tying. We're thinking about doing another giveaway here, but we're kind of trying to mix things up. We've done the near deer giveaway. We've given away some Tenkara flies, some foam grasshoppers, I think some other ones as well. And not really sure if we'll continue with the near deer fishing fly giveaways, or we'll shift it to another fishing fly. Just kind of thinking of a pattern to put out there. Hold up. For those on the podcast, yours truly is going to take a drink of some wine. All right. So I'd love to hear from you from the IFishNews podcasting standpoint. We do have an upcoming podcast live stream. We're going to try doing that on the fly for the first time on, I believe, Sunday 6 o'clock Central. And what the intent there is, hopefully we can recap what we did this past weekend, maybe talk about some of the fish that we caught, or maybe some of the things we did fishing related, of course. And then if not, well, we can talk about some of the wine that we drank again, because I definitely will be having some more wine this week. It's been a brutal couple of weeks with just the work and whatnot. So that said, it's been a good session here, and we'll put together a real quick video podcast piece that we'll get out there. So those that weren't able to join us today and just kind of chill with a little TGIF wine, can just get a snippet of some upcoming episodes here of what we want to talk about. So from a teaser standpoint, we'll go by the script. Okay, so we'll just summarize what we did on the podcast video / whatever you want to call it. We did an opening intro where we talked about ourselves, and this is IFishNews. We're on the City of Allen Fishing Field Team, COAF Field Team. We're supporting this effort to get the word out from a podcasting audio standpoint, while in parallel we're doing this from a video standpoint to get the word out about the fishing and learning to fish by our trials and errors. So we recapped that, and then in there we went and talked about some wines that yours truly had. In fact, we opened up a bottle and had a glass, still a glass, not two glasses, just one glass right now. And then we shifted over to some upcoming things that we're talking about when it comes to fishing. We're talking about going to Tenkara fishing if we see the opportunity. Got a little weather change maybe that might throw a curve for us. And then noted that there's some folks that are doing really well in the Blue River with some trout, even though it was 6 weeks ago. They're still catching trout up there, and saw some recent posts, in fact, that some folks are still catching them up there. So not sure if we'll make it, but if you do make it, do let us know how you did. Shoot us an email, shoot us a text, a chat, whatever. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube. You can always get us on email as well. coaf.weblog@live.com. Very simple. And let us know how you did, and we'll definitely talk about it, maybe get the word out as well. And if you want to keep it a secret and tell us not to tell anyone, well, mum's the word as well. We could do that too. All right. So we recap that, and now we roll into the call to action. So the call to action piece, if we're going by our podcasting script, is asking y'all to subscribe, like, etc., be it on our YouTube channel or our podcast, IFishNews, hosted by Podbean. So do that, please. And then we got to throw in that little teaser. What's the teaser that we're going to throw at you? Well, the only thing I can tell you at this point is we'll tease you with another glass of wine here. And we'll tease you that we're definitely going to get some chance to go fishing this coming weekend. And hopefully come Sunday, 6 p.m. Central, yours truly can talk about how I did from a fishing standpoint. All right. All for now. Appreciate y'all joining. And if you weren't able to join, appreciate y'all listening on this one when we replay it. All right. Next time we'll catch y'all later. Good luck and good fishing. Okay, we're here in Cozumel, over here at Playa de Mayo, where we got unlimited margaritas, and I'm still trying to figure out what Norma's doing, because apparently Glenn's still on the valet at the Galvez.